Greetings to you and welcome to our daily Devo for this Thursday, the 21st of December. Today, our devotion on this day is entitled The Critical Commandments. The Critical Commandments, Matthew 22, 34 through 40, Mark 12, 28 to 34. The big question here, and we'll find out who asks who in this, is Mark 12, 28. Of all the commandments, which one is most important? Bible trivia time. Of all the commandments, which is the most important? All week, Jesus had fielded the same kinds of questions in the temple, given where he was, in the temple courts. Given where he was, that makes perfect sense. While we are prone to think of the Jerusalem temple as a place to worship, it was also a place to learn. Remember that as a boy, Jesus came to the temple to get answers for the questions that had gone unanswered in Nazareth, Luke 2:46. Now, as an adult, Jesus may well have been interacting with some of the same teachers. These Pharisees identified 613 unique directives or prohibitions in the Torah, and that refers to just the first 5 books of the Bible as we recognize it. From the swirling details, they carried on a long-standing debate about which of the laws was most important. Can you imagine out of 613? Wow. The single law that would help interpret all the others. It's no wonder that Jesus had been dealing with questions about the law all week when visiting the temple courts. But this interaction is different. Other Pharisees maliciously sought to entrap Jesus. This man approached him with a sincere question, giving the whole exchange a different tenor and feel. Jesus answered the man's question directly. The Pharisee valued the response, and in turn, Jesus complimented him. The uniqueness, the uniqueness of the exchange causes us to lean in for a closer look. How would Jesus respond? He observed that the most important law is captured by the language of Deuteronomy chapter 6, verses 4 and 5. Observant Jews knew the language well. It was called the Shema, S-H-E-M-A, and was recited twice a day, morning and evening. The Shema declared the singularity of the Lord and confirmed one's all-encompassing love for him. Hear, O Israel, the Lord your God, the Lord is one. Honoring the sincerity of his student, Jesus then went on to answer the question that was unasked. What is the second most important commandment in Torah? The first being, Hear, O Israel, the Lord your God, the Lord is one. You shall love the Lord your God with all of your heart, soul, mind, and strength. But what's the second one? Well, he didn't ask that question, but Jesus recognizes it's an important part of the full answer. Here he quotes Leviticus 19, verse 18, which uses the very same word, love, but directs it toward our neighbor. This love for others is not different in quality, but extent. Love the Lord with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength becomes love your neighbor in the same way that you love yourself. Now, there's a good discussion. How do we love ourselves and not have it be selfish? Send your answers to this address. How do we love our neighbors Love God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength, but love your neighbors as yourself. Well, I think there's another verse in another place that gives us a hint. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Love them the same way you want to be loved. Kind words, helping out, seeing a need and somebody volunteering to help, come to your aid. Be considerate of each other. I know I mark that as a sign of a good neighbor, somebody who likes to keep the area around their house looking good, even if they're just renters. The lawn, the garbage, all those different kinds of things, showing that I care about me, and in caring about me, I'm caring about you. And to me, it's all wound up in that. Yes, if we love God with all of our heart, soul, mind, and strength, that really gives us what we need. That relationship with Him is so strong and healthy that it flows through us, just as we would want it to flow back to us. We don't want somebody calling us names. We don't want somebody judging us, saying mean words to us. We don't want people being rude toward us. So, hey, if I'm out and somebody does something, I don't like it, maybe I shouldn't be doing it either. To me, that's what it is to love your neighbor. Is to help meet their needs. Is to be kind, loving, all the fruit of the Spirit: love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, gentleness, goodness, self-control. Have there been times when I've had loud neighbors and I want to yell out the window? Hey, knock it off. Sure. Do I do it? No. It can be like the content of social media. Some words are said, you're not sure how to take them because of how they were said. The wording of it, what do they mean by that? And that's the kind of confusion you don't want to start with your neighbors, that's for sure. Because these days you'll be mostly judged for being negative, right? Those are the critical commandments. Jesus will go on to say all of the law and prophets are wound up in those two commands. You love God, you love your neighbors. Let me tell you, if we could love our neighbors instead of judging them in our country today, it'd open a lot of doors for the gospel, that's for sure. Showing the love of Christ, people being willing to hear what we have to say instead of thinking, well, you've already judged me, I don't care what you say. And that's where a lot of things are headed these days in our country. Love your neighbor, care about them enough to stifle your own opinions at times so that you can share the truth of the love of God with them. Blessings to you today. Remember, love God with all you got and love your neighbor just like you want to be loved as well.